In the quiet town of Willowbrook, where the maple trees whispered secrets to the wind, lived a young artist named Elara. Her days once danced with color. Canvases splashed with vibrant reds and blues, sketches of dreams that seemed to leap off the page. But one autumn, as the leaves turned to gold and then fell like forgotten promises, a heavy fog settled over her world. It wasn't the kind of fog that cleared with a brisk walk or a hot cup of tea. This was depression, a silent thief that stole her brushstrokes, muffled her laughter, and wrapped her heart in chains of gray. Elara's studio, once a haven of light, became a shadowed cave. Mornings blurred into nights. The easel gathered dust while she curled beneath threadbare blankets, whispering to herself, "What's the point? The colors are gone forever." Friends knocked, but their voices echoed from afar, like calls from a distant shore. She felt like a boat adrift, anchorless in a sea of numbness, convinced she was broken beyond repair. "I'm just empty," she'd murmur to the empty room, tears tracing paths down cheeks that hadn't smiled in months. One rain-soaked evening, as thunder rattled the windows, Elara stumbled upon an old journal tucked behind a stack of unfinished paintings. Its pages held her words from brighter days. The darkest nights birth the brightest stars. Flipping through, she found a sketch she'd drawn as a child, a lone sunflower bending under storm clouds, yet tilting its face toward the hidden sun. Something stirred, faint as a heartbeat in the quiet. Not hope, not yet, but a question. What if the fog isn't forever? The next day, she forced herself out of bed, legs trembling like a fawn's first steps. She didn't aim for the studio, that felt too vast. Instead, she laced up worn boots and walked to the edge of town, where the river murmured over smooth stones. The air was crisp, biting at her skin, but she sat on the bank and watched the water carve its endless path. "You're still moving," she said aloud to the river, "even when it's hard." It wasn't magic, no sudden burst of joy, but it was a thread, thin and fragile, pulling her forward. Word by word, step by step, Elara began to weave her way back. She confided in a kind-eyed therapist at the community center, whose gentle questions felt like keys unlocking rusted doors. "Depression isn't you," the therapist said. "It's a storm that passes through." Elara joined a small group of others who'd weathered their own gales, strangers who shared stories of rock bottom and rising again. Their laughter, a reminder that she wasn't alone in the shadows. She started small with her art, a single stroke of black charcoal on paper, capturing the weight in her chest. Then another, swirling into grays that softened at the edges. Friends returned, not with pity, but with paintbrushes and playlists of songs that once made her hum. One afternoon, under a sky streaked with hesitant pink, Elara painted her first sunrise in months. A burst of orange bleeding into gold, petals of light unfurling like wings. Months turned to a year, and the fog lifted. Not all at once, but in layers, revealing the world anew. Elara's studio hummed with life again, walls alive with works that told her story. Storms that birthed rainbows, shadows that cradled stars. She hung her sunflower sketch by the window, a talisman against the next dark day, because she knew now they would come, but so would the light. And on the quiet nights when doubt crept in, Elara would trace the scars on her canvas, the ones etched by pain and perseverance. "You did this," she'd whisper to herself. "You bent, but you didn't break. You waited for the sun and it found you." In Willowbrook, where the maples now bloomed green each spring, Elara became more than a survivor. She became a beacon, her art a testament that even in the deepest gray, the colors wait, patient and fierce, for the hand brave enough to reach for them. Remember, wanderer in the fog, your story isn't over at the shadow's edge. It's just beginning. Rise. One breath at a time, the sunrise is yours to claim.